last time, I can feel that power in my hands. Beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
With their season on the line, it's crunch time for the Eagles in a must-win matchup against the Rocks.
Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down! Oh, what a block from Person! Oh, into the seats! Absolutely thrown out by Harris. Oh, and off the glass, what a shot! Williams in the corner for three, knocks it down.
We're live from the Virtue Motors Arena, where it is do or die for the Newcastle Eagles. A loss tonight against the Glasgow Rocks would mean the unthinkable. No playoff berth for the Eagles for the first time in 22 years. So much at stake then for the Newcastle Eagles tonight, so it's fair to say it is pretty tense inside the arena. Former Newcastle Eagle, former Glasgow Rock, Drew Lasker and Kieran Achara, delighted to say, joining me. Now, Drew, you're one of the calmest people I know, but even you must be feeling a little bit nervy right about now.
No, I'm okay. 22 years on the line. I mean, I don't look nervous, do I?
Nerves of steel. Kieran Achara, no nerves for you. The Glasgow Rocks have already secured their playoff spot. Never in doubt, is it?
Yeah, never in doubt. You know, we've always believed. You know, but I'm just happy to be here tonight. I am just happy to be here to soak up the atmosphere.
It looks like you are. I mean, celebrating by smashing out a new jumper.
Yes, it's nice. It brings out nice colours for me. A lot of people thought I should have been wearing black, but I didn't want to think I was going to the Eagles' funeral tonight.
Just to be clear on this, how much fun are you going to have at Drew Lasker's expense throughout the course of the evening?
Oh, way too much. Way too much.
He's getting very, very cocky because, of course, the Rocks already have locked in their playoff spot, and they did that in style on Easter Sunday, no less, against the Sheffield Sharks. This is the way you make the playoffs, Kieran.
Wow. Honestly, it was an exceptional play. Well wrote up, great finish, confidence going into the playoffs.
And look how much it means to the players, because let's put this in perspective. A couple of months ago, most people anyway, were writing off their chances of making the playoffs, and Gareth Murray, their player coach, was under all kinds of fire. So how much credit should go to Gareth for this turnaround?
No, a lot of credit. You know, I'm sure he'll put it onto the players, but Gareth has stepped up drastically from a playing perspective and from a confidence perspective as well. So it's great to see.
Well, that win for the Rocks was their 12th of the season, and at 24 points, that ensures they'll be enjoying postseason action with 2 games to play. The Eagles lost to Bristol twice over the Easter bank holiday weekend, but sandwiched in between those 2 defeats was a crucial victory on the road in Surrey. So the Eagles are currently 4 points behind Plymouth, but with 2 games still to play, it's still possible for them to overtake the Patriots and steal that final spot. Now, if Plymouth do pull off an unexpected, I think it's fair to say, victory against Leicester tonight in the 8 p.m. tip-off, then the Eagles' efforts in our game become immaterial. But if Newcastle win and Plymouth lose, then it all goes down to Sunday's showdown between the 2 teams. So to claim that final playoff berth, the Eagles need to beat Glasgow tonight and then Plymouth on Sunday, and hope the Riders do them a favour. Sunday's games feature the final games of the regular season, and it's so tight in the playoff standings that each of the weekend's games will have some bearing on the final playoff seeding. So it is win or bust tonight for the Eagles. Let's check in for the first time this evening with our commentary team, Ant Rowe and Dan Routledge, standing by. And Dan, you have covered so much basketball over the years in this country. So to put this into context, if the Eagles fail to win tonight, where will this rank in terms of all-time BBL shocks?
I think it's number 1. I honestly do. There's been a few times where teams have won the playoffs and failed to make it the following year. Leicester did it in 2002. They were the 8th seed when they won the playoffs, so they went from 8th to 10th. That's not much of a shock. The other times were teams that had lost their investment from one year to the next and didn't make it back. So you know, Newcastle, there's a lot of guys out there who were on the team last year that won the playoffs. So I think this is number one in that regard.
Well, in that respect, Anne, given the talent in this Eagles side and the veteran leadership as well, how do they find themselves in a win or bust moment like this?
Well, I don't actually know the answer to that question. I think a lot of us are sitting here scratching their head because they've got enough talent. But as we know, talent is not enough to give you an automatic qualification to these playoffs. However, saying that, I think they do have enough of that veteranship. They have enough, former MVPs, big-time players, Darius Defoe, Ramon Fletcher, Gordon. I think these guys are going to have big games in order to push them through the very last stretch to get that 8th spot in the playoffs.
Now, Drew is going to be with you in commentary for much of the game tonight, Dan. So I'd keep your finger very close to that mute button if things go a little bit wrong for the Eagles as the game progresses. One of the big stories coming out, of course, in the last week or so was the news that Mccloud is going to be moving on from the Eagles at the end of the season. How surprised, irrespective of the situation here, were you at the timing of that announcement?
Yeah, the timing definitely threw me off, but at the same time, I'm seeing in the grand scheme of things, it's maybe from a decision. I don't know what's happening internally, but I think they're at ease right now. I think there's a lot of friction that's been lifted. I think people are clear on the direction that they want to kind of head in, and from that, I think that could actually help the last couple of games, because I think a lot of pressure has now been taken off.
Well, a little bit earlier on, Drew caught up with Coach Mack and the Eagles managing director Paul Blake to find out a little bit more about that situation.
I'm here with managing director Paul Blake and Newcastle Eagles head coach Ian Mccloud. And you made the decision to step down as head coach of the Eagles. What factors ultimately led to the decision?
First off, we're not having a great season. It's been a disappointing season. It's been a very difficult one. I won't shy away from the responsibility in that fact. But I think it's the right time for all parties, really. Young family on the way for me. And maybe results-wise, and we need a little change of impetus, and a little change of injection into that as well. But yeah, just right time overall, really. I think it was the right thing for us to do moving forward.
And Paul, with the team fighting for its playoff lives, some would say that the timing of this announcement is a little bit unusual for British basketball. Why now?
I think we just want to set the stall out moving forward for the start of the summer. Preparations for next season. We're going into a new role with Ian as well in terms of the work that we do with the foundation, and a big project that we've got on that side of the fence with a benchmark of 1,700 young players right now playing in clubs, and a project that wants to take that and extend it further. So we just want to get moving.
And Ian, I know this was an incredibly difficult decision for yourself as a Geordie, in a position that was a dream job. Just kind of elaborate on this new position that you're entering.
Well, my goal doesn't change today than it was 20 years ago. I want to make basketball better in the Northeast and within the Newcastle club. Support for upcoming coaches, upcoming players, everyone from the kid who wants to step on the floor for the first time to the Tosan Umans of the world who want to go out to the States. Everyone needs some support, needs some direction, and I look forward to getting us all pulling in the same direction with a clear path forward.
And do you see this role having an impact on the future success of the organization?
If I didn't, it wouldn't be as appealing. I think we have to start at the very bottom, or the very entry level, and have a consistent Eagles way of doing things all the way through. And I think that's something that makes the project really appealing for me.
And Paul, now the clock is ticking. What does the process of appointing a new head coach look like, or has that decision already been made?
Well, there's been a number of calls made, put it that way. And there's been a lot of interest, as there always is. I'm in the same situation when Fab, decided to fly to Toronto. We had a lot of people knocking the door. So we're going through a sift, and there'll be an announcement made at some point in the near future. It can't be too long because we need to get going. We've got some things to do, but hopefully, we'll make that announcement in the next few weeks.
And Paul, as you guys hit the reset button, what do you foresee the team looking like in the future?
Well, I think it's a reset. Clearly, we're in the back end of a transition period for the club, which has seen 20 years of success. We want it to be a winning team. It's got to be coach-led, as always. Coach's decision as to who the squad's going to be and who the roster's going to be. But I've got to say, we've got to hope that we're back in at the very least the top 3, which is where I think we should be, and back on the track to winning trophies.
And finally, Ian, still a lot to play for as you guys are playing for the playoffs. What's the mindset of the team coming into tonight?
For tonight, probably the most simple it's been in quite a few weeks. We know the BBL table is kind of crazy right now, but for us it's extremely simple. We've got to take 2 games, win them. Okay, we need a little help from Leicester to beat Plymouth tonight, but we win our 2 games and we're in. And if we don't do that, then we're out. It's quite simple. Our destiny's in our hands to an extent. So we know what we've got to do. Very simple, really, and just looking forward to getting to work, really.
Well, 3 championships in 3 years. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Drew. I mean, given he's had that success early on in his career, does it seem a little bit premature that he's moving on, despite the struggles they've had this season?
Well, I've talked about this numerous times. This is the direction that the British Basketball League is moving into. There's accountability now. And, had the team finish middle of the pack, I think there would be some. But when you're struggling to make the playoffs, it's tough.
Do you think the Eagles are most likely to bring somebody in who has ties to the organization, because they like to do that?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. But whoever they bring in, they got to bring somebody in who brings in a new energy, who's forward-thinking, and get these fans excited again.
Kieran, can you think of anyone, a former Eagle, that's got some coaching chops that might fit the bill?
Well, definitely. If you saw that VT there at the very end, they cut it. I saw Drew Lasker slipping his CV in at the end there. So yeah, there is a couple of people in mind.
Of course, strictly business. I've seen some Eagles fans on social media calling for Vince McCauley to be their next head coach. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I
mean, could you imagine Vince McCauley, the head coach of the Newcastle Eagles? Well, that would be exciting, wouldn't it?
What a story that would be. Right, let's get on to tonight's game in a bit more detail. Kieran, how do you think the Rocks will be viewing the game now that playoff berth is secured?
I think that we're playing pressure-free. I think there's a lot of pressure taken off them. They will be maybe in a little bit of experimental mode, but at the same time, hungry for the win.
You see the head-to-head, they're a mixed bag for Newcastle against Glasgow this season. They lost both the pre-season cup games, but went on to win both the league encounters, of course, both of those much more recently in the season. So they got the league series in the bag for what it's worth. Let's start with some of the veteran leadership that Ant Rowe was talking about a bit earlier on in this Eagles side. Ramon Fletcher, Darius Defoe. How are they dealing, Drew, with something that they're not used to dealing with, adversity?
Well, it's well known, documented that I'm very close to these two. We speak very regularly. And it's tough. I mean, when you're used to and accustomed to winning, to not only lose, but to lose in this fashion, it is very tough to deal with when you go weeks upon weeks without winning. So I've just done my best to try to be there for those guys as a friend.
Because you go way back with fair play. And you look at players like Darius Defoe, Justin Gordon, Wes Person, Brandon Peel's vastly experienced as well. Kieran, is at some point, the way the season's gone, are they scratching their heads thinking, looking around the locker room at the talent, thinking, how have we got into this situation?
Yeah, definitely. But, you also have to think about chemistry. Right this season, I just don't seem to have that kind of chemistry, that same type of cohesion.
The offense runs through that man, Ramon Fletcher, and he is one of the best in the business at dishing the ball out. Leads the BBL once again in assists per game. Drew, what will he be saying to the players ahead of tonight?
Well, he'll be saying, follow my lead, because I see Ramon Fletcher's mindset of treating his game like a cup final. And if you ever seen him in a cup final, he comes out very assertive, very aggressive offensively. So look for him to put the ball in his own hands tonight.
It's one of the biggest issues that Newcastle have no plan B. If they limit Fletcher's influence, then you're home.
I also think from a Fletcher perspective, if he takes over the game, what does that mean for the likes of Corey Johnson and a Pearson Jr.? So it's a really, really hard dynamic.
Darius Defoe has been immense this season, not showing no signs of slowing up by the look of it. How will he lead tonight?
Well, he's going to lead through his leadership. He's going to be very vocal, very defiant. And, he's been the staple in 18 seasons in the playoffs. He's not going to want to miss this. He knows what's at stake. He knows what's on the line.
His own streak as well, exactly. Glasgow have the number 2 ranked offense in the BBL in terms of points per game. So defensively, Kieran, how important is Justin Gordon going to be tonight to keep them in check?
Huge. I talk about the Rocks wanting to penetrate, get to the basket. Justin Gordon can switch on ball screens. He can really kind of control that in that situation. So he's going to really need to play a big game defensively and offensively to take the Eagles home.
With this Eagles offense, Wes Person is a key protagonist in the top 10 in the BBL from the three-point range. And the Rocks, well, they rank dead last in opposition three-point shot made. So will he try and get his hand hot from downtown tonight?
Well, he's been playing extremely well over the last half of the season. He's got the 3-ball going. He missed a little time there due to illness, but I really look to see him have a good game tonight.
Brandon Peel, another wily veteran in the BBL. Has he been the right fit for the Eagles?
Unfortunately, no, and it's not a fault of his own. Brandon Peel, he's a guy that likes to float to the short corners, to the high post, and with the offense, with the philosophy that they run here at Newcastle, it's very structured, and so it hasn't been a good fit, but he's been playing well the last 4 games, averaging 13 points, which is 3 points above his average, so I look for him to keep it going tonight.
And he could get himself into the hearts of these Eagles fans with a big game tonight, something this man has done many times, of course. It is a tall order for the Eagles, but they, and indeed Ramon Fletcher, will be hoping for a similar finish to the one we saw last time these two met here.
Crowd counting down the seconds. Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down.
Well, put the ball in the hands of your former MVP, and he shall deliver. Ramon Fletcher takes his time, composed. What a great looking pull-up jump shot.
Welcome back to Newcastle. The Glasgow Rocks, the Eagles' opponents tonight, going through their paces. The Rocks looking to play spoiler this evening. They've already secured their playoff berth. The Eagles, well, they need a win tonight to keep their chances alive. The Glasgow, well, as we talked about, they looked long shots for the playoffs a few months back, but what a run they've been on. 7 wins in the last 10. Kieran, what have been the key factors in that turnaround?
I think that big weekend, they got a comeback win against London, then they went on to win at home against Manchester, and they just went from a team that had their heads down thinking, I want to get home, to actually have that instilled belief.
Right.
And from that, the bench has really stepped up. Fraser Malcolm has been playing at a higher level. Jordan Johnson's taken it to, a whole different stratosphere. You know, they've been playing at a very, very high level since then, and playing with confidence, belief, and less pressure as well.
They've had decent cup runs as well, Drew, and I think if you're glass half full, you'll say, well, they've got to the semi-finals as opposed to they lost the semi-finals. In the playoffs, if they say they get to the semis of the playoffs as well, will that constitute a successful season for them?
I think regardless of what happens here on out, it's been a successful season. If you look, last year they finished at the bottom of the barrel, like you mentioned, 2 semifinals appearances. And then to be able to show the grit, to be able to bounce back to where they were 6 weeks ago, you got to give a credit to Gareth Murray and the entire Rocks organization.
What's going to be on their minds tonight, Drew? Let's kick on for the highest seed possible and be at full tilt? Or will they be thinking, well, let's ease up a little bit with the playoffs in mind?
I think it'll be the latter. If we remember, Gareth Murray did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and he prioritized the Cup final when they had a game going, and I see him doing the same tonight for the simple fact of they lack depth, so you don't want to get an injury to one of these guys.
Jordan Johnson, you certainly don't want to get an injury to him. He's been an absolute revelation for the Rocks this season, and Drew, you know I love an MVP chat, right? Is he in the mix?
Well, I think we all know who the MVP is this season, but over the last 9 games, he surely has played like it, averaging 24 points a game. All the shooting splits are up, shooting over 50% and 40% from the three-point line, playing at an incredibly high level.
What are the key things we should be looking at in that point guard battle he's going to be having with Ramon Fletcher?
Well, Fletcher needs to pick him up early, slow him down, because when he gets to going down the hill, he looks kind of like a bowling ball. With his size, he's able to bounce off a player. So, and keep him from the foul line. You know, he lives and dies at the foul line. So Fletch has a tough job on his hands tonight. Jordan
Harris, another very physical player, causes real problems with his drive, doesn't he?
Not only with his drive, with his off-the-ball movement as well. Him and Jordan Johnson are playing together. You can't take your eye off Harris because he knows how to cut to the basket. But he's also shooting the ball a lot better. He's rebounding well, and he's getting big deflections on defence as well. Great addition for the Glasgow Rocks team.
We talked about this Glasgow Rocks offence, one of the best in the BBL, and one of 4 Rocks averaging over 15 points per game this season is JC Hillsman. Big part of that is how prolific he is from the three-point range, ranked second in the BBL. Is that something that they'll look to exploit tonight against the Eagles?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I was saying I watched the Leicester game there just on Tuesday, and they kind of took him out of the game. They really kind of guarded and stuck on him. But if Jordan Johnson can attack the basket, I believe the Eagles tend to crowd the paint a little bit, well, leave guys like Hillsman open. So they really have to pay attention to him, especially on those corner shots.
Gareth Murray, the player coach, as he was last season, this is his sophomore season as player coach, and that's always the dilemma. We've talked about it many times on the show. How many minutes do I play? They seem to be better, Drew, the more he's involved on court.
Absolutely, and I think he's figured it out. Again, over the last 9 games, he's averaging 31 minutes a game, which is 7 more than what he was playing before. And he has to understand that he is still one of their best offensive players, so the Glasgow Rocks need him more on the court than off the court.
Vance Johnson, the final Rocks player we want to highlight. How key will his work around the boards be tonight, Clint?
It's critical. You know, I think that when he's active, especially the defensive rebounds, he's doing a really good job. But I also like what he's stepped up right now from a defensive, guarding it inside the paint. He's been moving his feet really well. The only issue I'm worried about right now is foul trouble from him. You know, he likes to reach. He's quite an aggressive player, and that can really cause the Rocks problems.
So, do you agree with the mindset that Drew thinks the Rocks will have one eye on the playoffs? And how does that play out actually on court? Because you're not going to, nice styles, Drew. You're not going to go into a game thinking, well, I'm going to play at 50%. But if the Eagles start fast and the Rocks think this game is running away from them, is that the point they take their foot off the gas?
Exactly. I think that's when they take the foot off the gas a little bit and start thinking a little bit more. It's the same thing like from that last game that Drew was talking about. They got punched in the mouth in that first half, and then this is what we're focusing on. Right now, the Glasgow Rocks are playing carefree. If you allow them to shoot the ball, attack the basket, get out in the fast break, then it's going to be a problem for the Newcastle Eagles. If Newcastle Eagles takes that away, it could be a different night.
That was impressive, by the way, Drew. Still got the magic. Still got the magic. A little bit earlier on, Drew caught up with a couple of the Rocks camp to find out how they're viewing the big game.
Coach, it's been a season full of ups and downs, but you're safely in the playoffs. What are your thoughts on the campaign so far?
Yeah, it's been a very up and down season for sure. Maybe what could have been. We made 2 semi-finals, a trophy in the cup. both tough second leg games for us. We had a lot of injuries in February. We had a lot of away games, which really put us in a hole. But we start playing some good basketball again in the last 5 or 6 weeks.
And what is the team's mindset going into this final game of the regular season?
We had a tough game against Leicester on Tuesday. We need to build our confidence back up, finish the season off with a win, prepare ourselves then for the playoffs.
And what are the objectives going into the playoffs? How deep can this team go?
It's hard to say. We'll do our best at home games. Our away record speaks for itself. But no, it's two-legged affair. We'll see who we get in this playoff first round. We don't know. It's not decided yet. This is our last game for us. But we'll see who we get, and we'll give it our best shot.
And will you be approaching the playoff games any differently? Will your preparation change at all?
We'll be approaching them a bit more in depth of scouting and set plays. But no, we'll go trying to play our own game.
Jordan, you stamped through to the playoffs. What's your thoughts on the season so far?
Thoughts on the season? It's just been up and down, but we just playing hard and keep playing as a team, doing what we do best.
And you've been a joy to watch. How much have you enjoyed this season personally?
Personally, I had my ups and downs. I was indifferent about it, but, it comes with playing the game. So I love the game, so that's why I'm just happy to be here. I didn't play last year, so this is like a big thing for me.
And you've been putting up some serious numbers as of late. What's been the difference in you the last 6 weeks?
Just been trying to prove everybody wrong. That's all. Showing everybody that we can win games and we can make the playoffs. Do this, we can do that.
And what's your mindset going into the postseason, and what can this team achieve?
Mindset into the postseason, just for one game at a time. Possession by possession. Win that, we'll let the results do themselves. But then postseason, we just want to win. Just it, really.
Good luck tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's a future coach right there, one game at a time.
110%.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, that you mentioned it earlier on, and we saw it in the celebrations after the Sheffield game, the mood in this camp. And we all know that playoff sport is all about timing and momentum, and the Rocks have that.
Yeah, and that's what I've been looking at, the whole playoff rankings right now. What teams are actually playing in form? Some of the teams at the top, second, third and fourth, have actually been on a dip, so it's really quite interesting to see.
Does it read that way to you as well? Leicester, obviously, clearly the strongest team in the league this season, but anything can happen in knockout basketball. Teams 2 to 8, whoever does make it in number 8, any of them have a viable shot at a deep playoff run, don't they?
Well, Nat, this place is rocking, so I didn't hear your question, but, I feel like the Glasgow Rocks can beat anybody in the playoffs as long as they don't face the Leicester Riders. So like you mentioned, Kieran, this team is rolling into the playoffs with momentum just in the nick of time.
He's a true pro. He didn't hear the question, still answer the question. How will Newcastle set up their stall tonight? How will Newcastle approach the start of the game tonight?
Well, they have to come out all guns blazing. But at the same time, we look here right now, they have to try and play to their strengths, get the ball in Fletcher's hands, be aggressive, make the rest get on their side early on, and they stand a chance.
2 fallible defenses, both teams struggling defensively this season. So are you expecting a shootout, Drew?
I'm expecting this game to go into the hundreds, baby. If you're an offensive juggernaut, this is what you want to watch today. So both teams going at it with a lot on the line.
Both of you struggling to hear any of my questions, but my final one relates to that. Listen to this crowd, a packed Newcastle fan base here. How significant is that factor going to be tonight?
This is what the Northeast is all about. This is the path. You see these fans here on their feet, ready for a show and ready to support the men in black.
All right, then, it is crunch time for the Newcastle Eagles. They have to win tonight to keep their playoff hopes alive, and tip-off is coming next.
Gordon for 3. Knocks it down. Driving in, dropped it back, and now he's throwing down the jump.
It is the final regular season of the BBL, regular game of the BBL season about to tip off, and then we'll be turning our attention to the playoffs, and that is exactly what the Newcastle Eagles will be hoping to do. To get there, well, they need a win tonight. We're about to get underway, so let's get over to Anne and Dan.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, it's been 20 plus years since the Newcastle Eagles found themselves in a spot like this. One thing I know from my childhood reading the Beano is the Jocks love to knock out the Geordies. Are you buying Drew's line that Glasgow are not going to come here and play hard? Surely they're going to want to win this game.
It's still a basketball game. It's live sport. People are here. I don't see the Glasgow Rocks giving them a give me. Let's leave it at that.
Well, they, of course, do still need a little bit of help from Leicester, but Leicester, with a chance to go undefeated in the league at home this season, they won't be easing off at all, I don't think.
I don't think so, no. And Rob Paternoster as well will want that good form going into the playoffs, so he's not going to want to take his foot off the pedal tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the starting fives for tonight's game. And these are two teams driven by their point guards. Number 44, just an unbelievable player for many, many years for the Newcastle Eagles.
That's the Star Watch matchup tonight. Ramon Fletcher and Jordan Johnson. Ramon Fletcher just coming back from illness. He's been a massive positive impact already on this team since his return.
Jordan Johnson, you mentioned, as Drew likened him to a bowling ball, the way he bounces off people, gets to the lane. They need to pick him up as soon as he gets the ball in the backcourt because he's so quick as well.
A very elegant bowling ball. They are the most fast points of the whole league this year, the Rocks, and that's all due to their point guard, Johnson, who's absolutely formidable in the open floor.
Well, the two teams making their way out onto court ahead of tip-off here in Newcastle. The Eagles know what they have to do. 2 wins will hopefully be enough for them. They need to at least push it to Sunday night. Almost ready to go. And what will be interesting is the big crowd in here. If the Eagles get off to a slow start, or if it's a tight game, do they start to get nervous about everything?
One of those ones where you can feel the tension building up in the room. So, absolutely key for the Eagles here to have a good start. Get the crowd energy high from the get-go.
We are underway, and it is the Newcastle Eagles who must win to get the first possession of the ball game. Straight to Fletcher, straight to that trusty left hand.
Great start, good execution there. Nice screen by Darius Defoe. We've seen that two-man game so many times over the year. And Ramon Fletcher, that favoured left-hand finish.
There's Johnson. Getting all the way to the rim himself, although his shot comes off.
Look at these two guys who attack each other all night long. Jordan Johnson, Ramon Fletcher, what a great matchup that is.
Fletcher for 3. Back iron, and Vance Johnson with the rebound.
Well, Drew Lasker called it at the top of the show. Ramon Fletcher's treating this like a cup final, trophy final, championship final. So look for him to continue to be aggressive. Already 2 shots for him in this game.
Jordan Johnson back to Hillsman. Flushed off the 3-point line, floats it up, but off the mark. And that came off Peel last, and will be possession for the Rocks on the end.
So look, a really casual shot there from JC Hillsman, who's a very efficient shooter.
Nice pass down to Vance Johnson with the reverse lane.
Great play there. Vance Johnson gets really deep. What I mean, he's almost out of bounds there on that baseline, but what that means is Darius Defoe loses him. Perfectly timed cut, an easy reverse finish.
Fletcher into Defoe, to the fall away, knocks it down.
Big time players step up in big time moments, and that's where you feel the veteran, the leadership and the experience of Darius Defoe is going to shine tonight.
Harris looking for something to happen, goes across to Jordan Johnson. Into the key. Well, he kicked it to where he thought Hillsman would be, but Hillsman had already made his move.
As you say, he thought that his teammate was going to be spotted up there on the 3-point line, but again, miscommunication, or mislocation at least, and a turnover for the Rocks.
Here's Fletcher. Out to Peel from behind the arc. Brandon Peel knocks down the three.
Really like the start to the Eagles. It seems like a really focused start as well, and offensively things are firing.
Vance Johnson, top of the key, off the mark. Peel with the rebound. Drew Lasker in commentary with us. Good start for your Eagles here. 7-2 up.
Absolutely. Besides that turnover, but
nice. Beautiful from Jordan Johnson in the open court.
But I like what I'm seeing from the Newcastle Eagles. I see that look in Ramon Fletcher's eyes. I've seen it many times before. Look for him to take over this game tonight.
Person going back quickly at the Eagles, as they love to do, Glasgow. Murray strings the three.
Goodness me, nothing but the bottom of the net. And Gareth Murray says, hello guys, I'm here, just in case you forgot.
Fletcher cross-court to Person for three, and he knocks it down.
And I mentioned it before, I love the way that Wes Person has been playing as of late. If you give him an inch of space, he's knocking it down.
Foul is called on Fletcher. That, by the way, was Ramon Fletcher's third assist of the game, and he is likely to break records for assists this season. He needs only 8 assists in the last 2 games to average 10 for the season. Only one man has ever done that. If he gets 12 assists, he will set the all-time single-season assist per game record. And if he can get 11 assists tonight, he will move number 1 all-time career assists per game ahead of Alton Bird. Wow. As Murray knocks down another 3.
Almost identical spot there. Gareth Murray knocks it down again, and that's where the Eagles have been pitiful this year, as there's been that defensive assignment and understanding what their opposition does offensively. Gareth Murray doing exactly the same thing, same result.
Just too strong for Vance Johnson there.
What's really good at the moment for the Eagles, you've got Defoe, you've got Peel, you've got Fletcher, and Person all on the score sheet early.
Murray again! Absolutely feeling it here.
And I talked about the 31 minutes a game over the last 9 games, and that is why one of the best shooters, best players in this game.
Foul called on Murray there as he grabbed hold of Peel.
But that just underlies the defense of the Newcastle Eagles all season long. You know, Gareth Murray is one of the best shooters in the league, and yet he's got 3 fairly open looks early in this game with 9 points personal already.
27 points on the board, 4 minutes gone. It is going to be a high-scoring game as Gordon adds another 3.
Did you expect anything less?
No, I didn't.
Other than Surrey Scorchers, these are 2 worst defensive teams, meaning they give up the most points in the league. And they both have, offensively gifted.
Oh my! Hillsman with the throwdown.
Goodness me, it just opened up for Hillsman, took off and puts it down.
We have a ball game on your hands, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm tired watching.
17-15, the Eagles shading it right now. Here's Fletcher working with Defoe. Fletcher, cross court. Gordon resets it and hits the 3.
We love to see that from Justin Gordon. An interesting wrinkle. He's been moved to the 3 as the Newcastle Eagles have gone to a bigger lineup over the last 3 games. Paying off dividends here tonight.
There's Hillsman in the corner, and he strings the 3. Both teams firing from behind the arc. Incredible shooting here.
That's a beautiful play from the player coach there. He uses that pump fake because Peel has to jump out on him. He has 9 points personal. What he does is that penetration takes him into the middle, and he passes it in the corner to his 48% 3-point shooter, J.C. Hillsman, who knocks it down.
There are 8 of 9 from behind the arc combined. Bearing in mind the first one was the one that missed. That was Fletcher. Good hands from Johnson. So the last 8 3-point shots have gone in. Back to Johnson to the finger roll.
I really like that play. This is what they did a really good job of back in February when these 2 teams played. As soon as they got possession of the ball, they ran the floor there. Excellent fast break, and you reward Vance Johnson for making that good defensive play at the other end of the floor.
Well, the start has been exactly as we would imagine. It is 20 points apiece midway through the first quarter. Earlier, Drew managed to catch up with Ramon Fletcher to see what he thought before the game.
Fletcher, playoff lives on the line tonight. What are your thoughts?
You got to treat it like a final. You got to treat it like a one-off game because essentially that's what it is. We win this, we get a chance to make the playoffs if we win on Sunday. So we got to treat it like a final, and that's the approach that we're going to have with the mindset and the physical, the physicality as well.
And as the leader of this franchise, how are you approaching this game personally, and where's the team's mindset?
I mean, we're going to give it all we got. That's how I do every single game, especially these past month or so. So we try to win every game, and we go approach it that way, do everything possible that we can, from physical, from mental, from defense, which has kind of been our Achilles heel. That's something that we focus on. If we get on defense, then we get out and run on offense.
Well, exactly the attitude you would expect from Ramon Fletcher. I just want to touch on that assist thing again, because he's got 5 assists already, so he's almost certain to average 10 per game. He's almost certain to set the record all time in BBL in terms of both career assists per game and single season assists per game. Assuming he does, he will be number 1, number 6, number 7 and number 9 in the top 9 assists per game seasons. It's incredible, really.
And been a staple in our league since 2014, since he first touched the foot on the British Basketball League, and still playing at a high level today.
Well, he could have had a 6th assist there if Defoe had knocked it down, but it's Peel who cleans up.
Great energy there and put back. That's the Brandon Peel we are accustomed to seeing in his London Lions days, and nice springy putback finish there from him.
Murray. This time they get to him, but once he goes right past, no help defense at all.
Brandon Peel has to honour that pump fake now because he's made 3 threes, but the most disappointing thing there, interior defense. It's been next to non-existent for this Eagles team all season long.
It's called help the helper, and which has been non-existent for the Newcastle Eagles all season long.
Defoe again trying to muscle his way to basket to the fall away.
Really like the intent so far of Darius Defoe as well. You can see he's got that focused look on his face. Shots are falling. Looking very promising on the offensive end for this Eagles team.
Offensive foul called on Vance Johnson for little use of the leg, according to the official on the screen.
It's been a resurgence from Vance Johnson as well. I mean, he came into this team after, the news of Ali Frazier, they're arguably one of the best scoring big men in the league, out for the Rocks, and Vance Johnson's came out having a very slow start, and he's grown in confidence as with his team's performances. He's had some major roles in that.
Shot clock hadn't started there, which is why the referee stopped the game. And they've now ticked it down to 20. Well, put it back on now. Try that again. Oh, it's 21 they were supposed to get to. Carson. Mid-range comes out, but Gordon is there to tip it home.
And that's what he does, Justin Gordon. Since he's been inserted back into the Newcastle Eagles lineup, has been probably their best player.
Harris trying to wrap the pass round to Vance Johnson, deflected out of bounds.
Good hands from Defoe there, because Vance Johnson cut into the rim there. He was almost sure going to get a layup if that pass gets through.
Step underneath from Harris, but he doesn't get the bobble of the ball. Person is fouled on the 3 by Hillsman, so he will go to the line.
It's a good push there from the Eagles, and Person looks very aggressive there. He's looking for that shot. As you say, he's played some really good basketball, especially in the second half of the season, and they've relied on Person's ability to score the ball on the offensive end.
And the best part about that, Ann, is the ball didn't touch the floor, beginning in Darius Defoe's hands, and they pitched the ball ahead all the way to the deep corner, and Westport Persons get rewarded and heads to the line for 3.
Off the back of the iron on the first one. Second, it's a busy night in the BBL. 2 games already underway. Down in Sheffield, it is the Sharks 7, the Manchester Giants 25. That is 7.5 minutes into the game, about the same point as ours. A little ahead down at the Copper Box, where the London Lions are 22-12 after 9 minutes against the Cheshire Phoenix. Of course, the London Lions women's team winning the WBBL League Championship earlier today. Here's Harris. Harris with the mid-range, back line, rebound comes to Johnson. Here's Fletcher, and that's an offensive foul on Darius Defoe for the moving screen.
That's the one thing he cannot afford to do today, is pick up those early fouls, because what that means is he has to leave to the bench. And while he's off the bench, this Eagles team isn't quite as strong on both ends of the floor.
And I was going to say, he was going to make it out of this quarter without a foul. And historically, when he picks up that first, he picks up that second foul pretty quickly.
Here's Malcolm. Dumps it back, Jack Domney, top of the key, leaves it short. Quick outlet from Fletcher to Defoe, running the floor, but he blows the layup. He wants a foul. Referee says no. Here's Johnson going quick, and that's exactly what you were talking about.
Get out of his way. He is the strongest, toughest, fastest guy in our league. When he's getting downhill, you might as well just put 2 points on a score clock.
Here's Fletcher. Johnson shot off the mark.
That's the one guy right now, number 6, Corey Johnson. He's yet to score the ball, and when he does, I'd feel a lot happier if I was a Newcastle Eagles fan, because you've got all of your 5 main guys in scoring.
Johnson back out to Malcolm. Malcolm kicks back to Johnson, 5 on the shot clock. Again, he gets to the rim, and he's fouled by, I think, Fletcher, although it could have been Williams from behind. Referees are just checking they had the same number. Yes, indeed, 44 is shown to the table.
For 22 seconds, that was good half-court defense from the Eagles. As you saw, when Malcolm penetrated, when the Rocks penetrated, someone stepped across and blocked the lane to the rim. It was pretty good defense. And then at the last couple seconds there, the foul's called, and you get a deflation there just because that set was so good up to then.
Well, Kyle Williams has to play better on-ball defense. Jordan Johnson, not one of the best three-point shooters. You can give him a little space, but if you're going to let him get downhill, it can't be with his strong hand. You got to shade him to his left.
Well, Fletcher sitting down here in the first quarter. That was his second personal foul. 2 of the 3 fouls that have gone against the Eagles have been on him. And they don't have really much in the way of a backup point guard, the Newcastle Eagles.
And that's where I would criticize his first foul, the silly reach in there. You know, Ramon Fletcher needs to be on court here, and he has to be disciplined and not put himself in these situations.
Just checking Drew's not lacing them up there to go in as backup point guard.
I bet you want to play. I bet you come in here, you feel the energy, and I bet you want to play in a game like this.
Well, this is one of the few games that I can play in, because I know the other team isn't going to play defense. So I like my chances.
Drew last year trying to get personal best here when he retired.
Yeah. His person looking to attack, dumps it off to Peel, who lays it in.
And that was a great no-look pass by Wes Persons, showing you that he's more than just a shooter, a playmaker as well.
Johnson fires up the 3 and hits.
That's so tough there. Uses that big screen from Boba and Jack Domney, takes his time, finds that little pocket, and gets it to go.
9 of 11, the 2 teams from the 3-point line in the first quarter. Person trying to add to that. And, it's in and out. And that will do it. For a high-scoring, entertaining first quarter, it is exactly as billed here at the Virtue Motors Arena. You score, we score. They're going up and down, but Newcastle Eagles have to make sure they get the most points on the board. They're leading at the end of one here. It's 30-28. We will have the second quarter after this. Welcome back to Newcastle, where the Rocks trail the Eagles by 2. Johnny Bunyan into the game for the first time, gets us underway here in the second quarter. Malcolm. Back to Jordan Johnson. Over to Hillsman. Hillsman drives in. And it's off the mark. Saves. Gordon along the baseline. Too easy that.
I like that matchup though. Gordon and JT Hillsman, very similar. Body size, body types, athletic. Both can shoot the basketball, but as you say, Dan, you're right. That baseline swing through, way too easy there. Gordon's going to live off that all night.
Jack Domney driving to the basket, just got bumped by Sayers. And Boban Jack Domney will go to the line.
And that was a beautiful pocket pass by Jordan Johnson, getting it right in between Brandon Pill. And you mentioned off air, Jordan Johnson already with 6 assists and with an opportunity to get 7.
Clarify the rule for this, Dan. So he needs to make 1 free throw in order for the assist
to count. Yeah. So it doesn't.
Boban Jack Domney? How about your teammates? Help him help you.
Here's Johnson. Back to Person. Person with the step back. Close out in the end from Malcolm. Was that off his own foot? Yes, it was from Jordan Johnson.
It's a rare error there as well. It's the Eagles were lucky because you hit number 11, Johnson, and full speed. That fast break is going to result in some good things.
And you got to give credit to Justin Gordon putting a body in front of Jordan Johnson early. That is the only way that you can, I won't even say stop him, contain him.
Shot clock getting low on the Eagles here. Did they see it? Peel having to work to the fall away. Got it away in time and knocked it down.
See Brandon Peel's confidence growing. That's a tough pressure shot there. He knocks it down.
The Eagles lead is out to 6 points here. Jordan Johnson back to Fraser Malcolm for 3. Off the mark.
He's a guy you wouldn't want to leave open though. Malcolm Fraser having a really good BBL campaign.
Person with the roll.
The second one now as well. That's rolled in and out for Wesley Person.
Johnson back to Jack Domney. And that is a charging foul on Boban Jack Domney.
And that's what we were talking about. Interior defense, help the helper coming across there. It doesn't have to be a block shot. It just has to be a body. Good positioning. And as you can see, Gordon gets across there, feet set, takes the charge. Nice play.
And that's what you would call a winning play, sacrificing your body for the betterment of the team. We got to see more of that tonight if the Newcastle Eagles are going to come out on top.
The Eagles looking to stretch this 6-point lead. Offensive foul called again. That's, I think, the 3rd or 4th foul on a moving screen in the game. This time it's Gordon who's whistled for it.
And the question for me, Dan, guys, is how long can the Eagles, with this particular lineup, keep this thing afloat? Not one of their best lineups. You're missing your leader and Darius Defoe, and then obviously your best ball handler in Ramon Fletcher. So keeping this thing intact should be the goal of this lineup.
Well, I think while they're up 6, they'll be happy enough. Here's Hillsman trying to reduce that arrears, and he doesn't get the roll, doesn't get the putback either.
Wow, that's one that he would want back. He has to finish that.
Johnson along the baseline to the floater. bobbles about into Murray's hands. Murray, and he was fouled and will shoot 2.
Even Gareth Murray there, the instructions clear. As soon as we get the basketball, we are pushing the ball, and as you can see, the coach there leading the break and get something for himself in the trip to the free throw line.
Well, you see how hard he's breathing after pushing his ball. This is not normally Gareth Murray's forte, but it's infectious. When you got other guys pushing the ball down the court, it spreads. And you see there the player coach looking to do the same.
Second personal foul on Sayers, so Defoe is back into the game. Fans doing their best to put Gareth Murray off from the free throw line, but it doesn't work. He's a 79% shooter on the season, knocks them down, cuts the lead to 4. Here's Defoe against Murray. A lot of BBL miles in that matchup as Defoe finds Johnson.
It's a really good find there from Darius Defoe. Good patience and a perfectly timed cut as well from Corey Johnson with a somewhat difficult finish.
Murray for a deep 3. Oh, he's missed one. First miss of the game for Gareth Murray. He had 13 points off 4 shots before that. Here's Defoe again, this time backing down to the fall away. And he hits that as well. 8 points for Darius Defoe.
Such good rhythm there. He gets Gareth Murray deep in the post, pushes him down, and then was able to hit that turnaround jump shot that we've seen so many times over the years.
Hillsman driving in. Trying to initiate contact, but misses the lay-in.
Hillsman's done a really good job of getting to the rim, but he's having a dreadful time on conversions there. 1 for 5 in the paint.
Here's Defoe from the elbow. Darius Defoe has hit that shot so many times over the years. He's into double figures with 10.
Wow. I did say you're going to need that veteran leadership from Darius Defoe. You can just tell that focus look. I've seen it 10 years ago while playing against him. I knew he was up for a big game today, and so far so good, and he's leading from the front. 10-point lead for this Eagles team.
And it's forced the Glasgow Rocks into a timeout here. I'll give you the scores from the other games while we have this pause in play. It's 39-28, the Lions over Cheshire in the second quarter. And it's 25-34 to Manchester down in Sheffield. And they should just about be getting underway at the Morningside Arena in Leicester. We will keep an eye on that one as it pertains to this, but Drew will be hoping that we get business as usual from the Riders, and you know, they built up a 15-point lead at halftime. That would be nice, Drew.
Just like I see it, I expect the Leicester Riders to take care of business tonight. And you got to remember, they got a 10-year winning streak against the Plymouth City Patriots, and I don't think they would want to ruin that on the final game of the season.
Going for win number 37 in a row over Plymouth.
Which we were both a part of, Dan.
You two, yeah, me, I wasn't. You both played in the last time a Plymouth team beat a Leicester team, and I don't know if it's polite to say which one of you won and which one of you lost.
Drew got the W. He was part of the Plymouth Raiders the last time a Plymouth team beat the Leicester Riders many moons ago.
Here's Johnson. A little too high for Vance Johnson, but picked up by Harris, who explodes to the ring. Everything but the finish. Vance Johnson recycles. Harris is yet to score in the game. Vance Johnson along the baseline, using his strength for 2.
There's a big bucket there. You can see the little bit of a drought there for the Rocks, and Vance Johnson was able to use his strength there. Again, good position on the baseline, deep. He's able to use his body to generate that shot.
Person to Defoe, and Darius Defoe is 6 for 7 for 12 points.
I said it pregame, ladies and gentlemen, if the Newcastle Eagles are going to go down, they're going to go down with Darius Defoe and Ramon Fletcher shooting.
Nice spin from Murray. The foul was on the original swipe down rather than the block that followed it. So Gareth Murray will go to the line.
One of the best signs, though, for this Eagles team right now is not only are they surviving Ramon Fletcher on the bench, they're prospering. You know, it's been a really good second quarter for them so far, and Darius Defoe is very much been the ringleader, but they're currently winning it 12 to 4. And again, it's one of those ones where you want to sometimes just survive while your point guard and your star player is not on the floor.
And beyond that, you got to like what you see from the Newcastle Eagles, and that's fight. I mean, how many times have we come here and said that they haven't given 100% effort, and that's all that we've asked and these great fans here in Newcastle want from this team.
Person brings it forward. Out to Johnson. Johnson driving in, dumps it off to Gordon for the flush.
Good penetration there from Corey Johnson and Justin Gordon. Good cut and an even better finish.
Cross court to Harris. Johnson gets to the elbow, leaves it short. There's a chance here. 3:45 to go. There's a chance for Newcastle to put this away here in the first half. Good finish. They're already up 10. That might even bring Fletcher back in at this point. Here's Johnson in the corner for 3.
That's the one guy I wanted to join the party. 5 points now from Corey Johnson. That's his first 3-point shot of this evening. And you've got all the guys now that you want contributing.
But this is the moment for the Eagles. You've got your foot on the throat. You've got to keep going. And they do with the steal to Johnson. Gordon wasn't expecting it back. Jordan Johnson kicked out to Harris. Gets into the key. They needed that, the Rocks.
That was a tough play. Just like that as well, as you say, Dan, you've got someone down. You want to put in that knockout blow, but nice recovery there from the Rocks.
Here's Defoe. Nice shovel pass to Corey Johnson for the lay-in. And the Glasgow Rocks are going to call another timeout. 2:39 to go. And the Eagles on top.
And again, great off-ball movement by Corey Johnson. That's the second time we've seen this connection. Darius Defoe in the post. Corey Johnson curling off the screen, finishing for 2.
Wow, it's again underlines why this Glasgow Rocks gives up 91.5 points a game. It's simple cuts, guys losing their men. But hey, the Newcastle Eagles, they've got one thing on their mind. They just need to win a ball game, and they've got offensive talent to get it done.
Well, 2:39 to go. They're up 13, Newcastle. If they can win this last 2:39 by 7, going at halftime up 20, Glasgow with nothing really. I mean, you don't want to finish. They're unlikely to finish 8. You don't really want to finish it. You'd rather finish as high as you can, but there's something when you're down 20, there's not much on the line. That's the point we were making at the top of the show.
This is an opportunity to throw that knockout punch, keep the Glasgow Rocks down on the canvas, and we're here every week. We talk about finishing quarters, and as we transition into the playoffs next week, it becomes that much more important as we begin to get to these second leg games. So see if Newcastle can get the job done.
The danger that they've got, of course, is this is the leading fast break point team in the league. So a couple missed shots or turnovers from the Eagles, and we've seen it. Rocks have got guys on this team that can disintegrate a lead quickly.
Stolen away by Defoe. Cross court, says just stepped out of bounds. I'd be tempted, 2 minutes, roll the dice on Fletcher, just to try and put them away. Good hands from Defoe to steal that away.
Oh no, I think they've got this far in preserving him. This unit's done a really good job I'd roll the dice with my guys on court right now.
Vance Johnson had to reach to get that. And knocks it down from the elbow.
That's a really nice wraparound dribble there from Van Johnson. Person just flies by there. Nice pull-up finish there for Johnson.
Good pass to Person, misses, but Peel is on clean-up duty.
Again, the Rocks there just not denying that cut pass, and then there's a box out misassignment there from Coach Gareth Murray, and Brandon Peel again says thank you very much for offensive rebound number 4.
Murray, ball away, hits.
Murray's offensive game looks so effortless sometimes. 17 points personal for him.
17 points off 6 shots.
Wow.
Defoe, that's an offensive foul. Oh no, it's not. The referee's pointed to the floor. Well, I thought Defoe's arm went out there.
I agree, yeah, I agree.
Let's have another look.
I agree. I think the referee's got that one wrong. I think Defoe initiates the contact, and there's a follow-through there with the forearm.
It's the way the arm goes out. It's a visible thing. I think Defoe has been a little bit fortunate there, because that would have been his second personal foul. But as it is, it'll be an end-line ball to the Newcastle Eagles. They're going to call a timeout here with 58.2 seconds to go and an 11-point lead.
Well, it's a period here. The Eagles got to feel they're in a good position. It's been a really good second quarter for them, 21-12. But as you say, if you do not finish this quarter strong, then we've seen it, haven't we? That momentum carry into the second half. Do you go for the knockout blow now, or you just try and finish the half solid for round 2?
You get the knockout blow as soon as you can get it. The answer to that.
Well, you'd definitely be operating in the heavyweight class, Dan.
Yeah. Just keep swinging. Well, 58 seconds to go. If I'm Newcastle, I'm thinking 2 scores, 2 stops, going up 15. It's perfect. But you spin that the other way around, it's a 6 or 7 point lead. It's into Johnson, the catch and shoot, and he hits.
Really well executed there. Good screens, good timing, and Corey Johnson finishes the play.
Hillsman backing down, gets the shot away, comes back to him, does it, diving on the floor. He's kicked it there, Hillsman. That will be... Oh, and he said something to the referee as well for a technical foul. And he's still chuntering away as he goes off to the bench.
Well, I can't hear what was said, but it seemed like a quick technical for me. But clearly that's a good call, the clear kick ball there. But again, with the verbal, the reaction, it's hard to call.
I didn't hear what he said, but I heard somebody in the crowd behind go, "Whoa, language!" which suggests it wasn't for a family audience.
St. James's Park, just down the road.
Yeah. So that free throw stretches the lead to 13. There are 8-second differential between shot and game. Boy, scoring a stop sends Newcastle in looking pretty. Here's Person getting all the way to the rim, and it's deflected away for an end-line ball. Defoe shot is short. Murray with the rebound. Johnson trying to find some room away from Peel. Can't get the shot to go. While Newcastle Eagles doing what they have to do here at the Virtue Motors Arena. They lead by 14 at the half, and they have played as well as you can expect under the circumstances. 54 points. They've kept the Rocks to 40. Coach Mccloud and his coaching staff will be delighted with that.
They really have, Dan. The number's been asked today, and they've responded so far. Very good first half. Offensively led, of course. We didn't expect anything else, but 54 points at half-time. You know the players have entered this game with a level of focus that perhaps has been wavering previously.
Well, they're underway in Leicester. Plymouth lead by 1. It's 5 minutes into the game. Long way to go in that one. Let's have a look at the numbers here. Look at the shooting percentages for the Newcastle Eagles. 66% from 2, 62% from 3. If they stay at that sort of level, they win this game.
Yes, it could stay that way. Rocks have been poor on the defensive end. They've missed defensive assignments. Cuts have been way too easy. However, it has been a very well executed half from the Newcastle Eagles. So, based on those numbers there, Dan, I can see this trajectory continuing.
14 assists, 5 of them for Ramon Fletcher. And look, Newcastle points in the paint. They've been getting to the basket really well. 24 of their 54 at the basket.
Yeah, excellent job of utilising their offensive. The guys have hit threes, which is then give that confidence then to the other guys to use that pump fake, get in, penetrate, and they've done a really good variation there offensively.
Oh, they certainly did. Good job, really trying to make the hustle plays that they needed. They have a 14-point lead, and Wes Person is withdrew.
Wes, the team looks incredibly focused in the first half. What was the pregame message in the locker room?
It's pretty simple. Win or go home. We need to take care of business this weekend and win both games. So we come out here with a different mindset. We treating it like a playoff final. That's how we got to treat it tonight. We win at all costs. That's what we come out doing, fighting and playing hard throughout this first half.
And you were able to hold down the fort in the second quarter with Ramon Fletcher in foul trouble. And you seem much more comfortable now. What's been the difference in your game?
Man, I'm playing with two-time MVP Ramon Fletcher, for a whole season, man. Just learning from him throughout this year. And, I've had to play a little bit of the point guard role. So just watching him every day, who else, better to watch than Ramon Fletcher. So I've gotten comfortable and I'm able to, to take care of business whenever he went out, early with 2 fouls.
And lastly, you head into the half with a 14-point lead. What is it going to take to put this team away and keep your playoff hopes alive?
I think for us is just to defend the three-point line. We let some guys get hot like Gareth Murray and things like that, but you just got to defend the three-point line and just take care of us. They're a tough team. They're not going to quit. They're going to keep fighting at us. So we just got to stay focused and stay locked into the game plan, and we should be fine second half.
Wes, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Back
to you, fellas.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, they are locked into the game plan and then some. So far, so good for the Newcastle Eagles. Win or bust time, and they're 14 up at the half. Reactions and analysis coming next. Big half for the Newcastle Eagles, could be a huge half as far as the trajectory of their season is concerned. An explosive first quarter with both teams trading blows, but it was the Eagles' defense after some difficult moments in that first quarter that started rolling. The supporting cast as well. Brandon Peel, we still get in the act. Darius Defoe leading by example. Let's talk about that second quarter shift, because even Stevens offensively in the first quarter, but then it all changed and Glasgow slowed. What did Newcastle do?
Well, obviously it went back and forth, but then what the Eagles started to do was they started to close the paint, take charges, make those extra defensive efforts, and that made all the difference. It really because they took away the three-point shot and really fixated in the paint, taking away the easy drive, and it killed the Rocks' momentum.
Drew Lasker talked about the drive and energy and aggression that he suspected Darius Defoe would show from the outset, and that's exactly what we saw, Kieran.
Yeah, I think Darius got a great start, and what I liked about him was he took his time. He got into the paint, he got deep, went one-on-one against Vance Johnson, got to his spot, turnaround jump shot. It was all in rhythm, composed. He was asking for the ball every single time, seeing that mismatch there, getting deep into the paint. His little trademark fadeaway jump shot made all the difference.
One of 4 Eagles into double digits in the first half and showing those veteran smarts and leadership, setting the example. Another player who got in on the act offensively, we talked about his defensive prowess, of course, at the top of the show, but it was Justin Gordon's offense that really caught our eye.
Yeah, again, he's shooting the ball within rhythm here, but at the same time he had a lot of energy, getting deep into the paint at times. Again, composure, jump shot. But this is what I like to see right here. This is, for me, Justin Gordon getting around the basket, making second chance opportunities. That's where he's so effective. He doesn't need the ball to create offense.
We talked about the Eagles struggling with a plan B with no Fletch, and we've seen Fletch instrumental in a number of the baskets you're seeing here, but at the same time, as we heard with the Drew West Person interview at half-time, they've shown that they can survive offensively without him.
Yeah, I think he did a great job again. Defensively, they really ramped it up, had such focus, and then the ball was moving a little bit more on offense. From a scouting perspective, it was a very difficult assignment for the Glasgow Rocks. They didn't really adjust to that. The ball was pinging around the perimeter, and they found a way to get the whole team involved to get some easy baskets.
Offensively, the Rocks, it revolved around Gareth Murray, certainly at the start. He talked about how they were letting him have looks from downtown, and he was exploiting that, something Wes Person was talking about, to Murray, the leading scorer on the court at the half with 17, Kieran.
Yeah, I think Brandon Peel got caught out of position too many times. I talked about when you drive to the basket, you get into space. Peel was getting sucked into the paint and leaving Gareth open for jump shots, and I think that really messed up from a scouting reporter's perspective. To give
Brandon Peel the glass half full perspective, he's 100% from the floor. Corey Johnson clutch as well, so the supporting cast really stepping up.
Supporting cast really stepping up, and from a Glasgow perspective, no bench points whatsoever. You're going to need to see something from Malcolm Bunyan or Jack Donmay to really kind of ramp up the Rocks' offense.
Right, be interesting to see if they can do that in the second half. Before we get the third quarter underway here in Newcastle, it's time for our plays of the week.
Keep the Sunday open, he throw it up. Oh, wow! What a play by the Glasgow Rocks. Harris catches it, going to the basket, pops it in, and they come up with the win. Loving with the soccer shot off the glass. Wow, incredible play from Mark Lovin.
No good on the second. Offensive rebound by Simmons, who puts it in. That is a huge play for the Bristol Flyers. Fletcher swings to Johnson, drives baseline all the way to the basket. It's blocked by Simmons.
With a huge block.
And Zach Simmons has just won the game for Bristol Flyers.
Oh. Yeah. I have no words, like, honestly. What What a dish there by Gino, now putting on a show for this crowd at this moment in time.
Nice play from the Riders there.
Stepping underneath. Great block. Reece still has it. Turned over though. Rizzolo's out in front. Rizzolo driving hard and shoving it in. What a play by Joe Rizzolo.
First the block shot, then the dunk finish there. We're chasing Kyler Kelly. Huge play.
Oh, the alley-oop. What a pass from Reece to Kelly.
Kyler Kelly took flight. Nice finish.
Did we really hear you just say you have no words?
Yeah, no. There was so many big plays this week, but I would have to give it to my former teammate this season, Mark Loving, with that circus play. Zaire Taylor, that's what I always used to see him do in the BBL, and someone now can get in his bag and do it as well. So that Mark Loving play was just disgusting.
By the way, have you got your championship medal from the Riders?
Not yet. I'm still on the phone to Russell trying to get that.
Speaking of the Riders, end of the first quarter, 25-24, Plymouth leads. So a nervy couple of quarters coming the Newcastle Eagles fans' way, because they've got to complete the job here and, of course, hope that Leicester do them a favour. 54-40 at the half. 14 points should be a comfortable enough cushion, but, well, this Eagles season has been erratic to say the least. Second half coming next. The Eagles getting the job done at the moment, but there is plenty of ball left to play, so don't think about going anywhere. Third quarter about to get underway, so let's get over to our commentary team, Drew, Anne and Dan.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, Newcastle doing the business here, but Plymouth up 2 now early in the second quarter down at the Morningside Arena. Couldn't happen, could it?
We love the drama, Dan. Yeah. We love it. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, just to see Drew sweating over in the corner.
I'm holding my composure, folks.
Underway in the second half. Of course, Newcastle will not know until long after their game. They tipped off at 8 o'clock down at Leicester, so they've just got to win and assume that will be enough to send into Sunday. Here's Peel. Good hands from Murray to steal it away.
This is the concern here. Fast break points lead the league, and JC Hillsman just having a...
Gets it at the second attempt through the contact.
Really struggling with that initial shot so far, but he has that persistence there to stay with it. He's got an opportunity to convert a three-point play.
And this is my worry, fellas. We've seen this many times before, these third quarter laps by the Newcastle Eagles, starting there with a great defensive play by Gareth Murray, and then as the Glasgow Rocks do, getting downhill early and fast. As Hillsman goes to the line for two. One, excuse me.
Converts a three-point play. 54 to 43 here. Newcastle still with a double-figure lead. Nice pass from Percy to Peel for two.
That was a solid pass, wasn't it? Goodness, he had it cocked and loaded and shot it through the defense. Nice play.
Looking for options, goes cross court to Johnson, resets for three, off the mark, Gordon with the rebound. Fletcher back to Gordon, and he lays it in.
Looked effortless, didn't it? Nice conversion there on that break.
6 assists for Fletcher now, as he looks to get double figures for the season, looking for number 7 there, but it ends up as a turnover. Here's Harris, and he's able to finish.
Defoe got fortunate there not to get the call there. Jordan had to rearrange there after that catch. Nice finish from him.
And Eagles have done a great job of containing Harris, only holding the 2 points at the half, and that's one guy you don't want to wake up because he's absolutely a game changer.
Defoe back to Gordon for three short. Johnson to Johnson, Jordan to Vance, and Defoe gets called for his second foul.
And that's the third or fourth time we've seen Jordan Johnson make that little pocket pass in there between both defenders. And that is a very difficult pass that Johnson makes look very easy.
Well, very lucky to see this matchup today, Jordan Johnson and Ramon Fletcher. Bit of a slower start for Ramon Fletcher, scoring-wise, because he had to sit on the bench for so long, but he has 6 assists. Johnson has 7 assists. 8 assists now.
You only need one free throw.
When did that rule come in?
It was a while ago now. Interestingly, we were talking about Alton Bird, and he averaged 10. He's the only other guy to have averaged 10 per game for an entire season. The person knocks down the three. The assists were much harder to get in those days, and you didn't get any off free throws. So just a little nod to Alton Bird's greatness in terms of finding his teammates. Here's Vance Johnson for three, back iron. Hillsman chasing it down, but deflected away by Fletcher. Here's Peel, and he lays in off the glass.
Brandon Peel's had a really good game. He's moving really well today and just has that knack around the rim and finishing the plays.
But again, we see the Eagles turning defense into offense, getting their hands on a lot of balls, a lot of deflections, showing a lot of great effort on the defensive end here tonight.
Here's Fletcher surveying his options. Gordon is one of them. Can't convert the open three. Harris trapped, throws it over the head of Johnson, and that will be a backcourt violation.
That is great help from Darius Defoe. He came over there at exactly the right time. He wasn't too accessible with that as well to pick up another foul. Very good stance from him, and you can just see that Jordan Harris was all out of sync then when that defense come over.
And this is what I was talking about pregame. With Glasgow Rocks, not a lot to play for besides finishing one spot above where they currently are. It's crucial in these next couple minutes that Newcastle throws that knockout punch, because then you'll see the Rocks waving that white flag.
Well, Vance Johnson and Darius Defoe getting a talking to there. Neither of them look convinced that anything had happened. But there we go. Here's Fletcher late in the shot clock, takes the three and makes the three. Newcastle landing that knockout blow.
Ramon Fletcher just reminded us all of his brilliance. Takes him to 5 points personal and a good looking shot from beyond the perimeter.
Here's Harris to reply, and he does.
This is what this Glasgow Rocks team, they stick around, don't they? They stick around, and sometimes they can turn games on their head.
Fletcher off the mark. This time Hillsman gets a rebound. Johnson behind the back, a little low for Vance Johnson to pull in.
I thought it deflected off Ramon Fletcher's foot to take the sting off the ball. Either way, it didn't get through. It was too low. Yeah, I think it did.
Oh, but it hit Vance Johnson's hand late.
It's whether that might have been deemed a kickball on the way through. Referee's happy with it, or didn't see it. That is, well, I thought that was a kickball as well, but no. So Newcastle got to work with a short shot clock here. Person driving hard and finishing through the contact from Murray.
That was a demonstration of bad defense there. You know, with Wesley Parsons running downhill there, you've got to get bodies in the way. And Gareth Meyer was too late to come over. Vance Johnson didn't really commit. It was kind of that, ooh, should I, shouldn't I? And results in a potential three-point play for Wesley Parsons Jr.
And in the new year, he's taken his game to a whole new level. Again, we've mentioned this before. He sat out all last season, and it just took a while for him to find his legs and really beginning to pay dividends for the Newcastle Eagles.
Jordan Johnson going to the basket for another lane.
That's what Johnson does. He gets to the paint and has great touch around the rim and playing at such a high level.
It's deflected away for a sideline ball.
You see there on that occasion, Vance Johnson just doing a good job of playing the passing lanes there and not allowing anything easy to get through.
Fletcher again fires up the three. Back iron comes to Peel.
Brandon Peel's done a phenomenal job on the boards. It's his sixth offensive rebound, excuse me.
Fletcher is fouled by Hillsman, and that's going to be his third personal foul.
And if you look on the scout report, it says do not let Ramon Fletcher get to his left hand, but many people have tried, but many have failed.
Well, yeah, it is one of the easiest scouts in the league, isn't it? Don't let Fletch go left. But, well, he's been here, 6 or 7 years now, and as you say, not too many people have found a way to stop him going left.
Well, many times in practice, every blue moon, he'll finish a layup with his right hand, and he'll make sure to make a big deal about it. So that just tells you.
Four and a half minutes to go here in the third quarter. Newcastle with a comfort margin of 19 points. Hillsman, he can't score, but Harris is able to tip it in.
Above the rim, put back finish from
Harris. There's Fletcher going left.
Yes, he does, and he does it well.
to Johnson. Johnson strong off the glass.
That's a tough finish there. And Vance Johnson just growing game by game, showing us what he can do down low.
Person round the screen. Back to Johnson. Johnson all the way to the basket. No help defense there. Easy lane.
And all night long, the Newcastle Eagles have done a great job of moving the ball, which ultimately softens up the defense and leave lanes like you see Corey Johnson taking advantage of there.
Johnson tips it down to Fletcher. Fletcher. Oh, what a block! But it's a goaltend. It's a goaltend. The basket will count.
That was close. I'll have to see that one again.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good block. That's a good block. It's still going up. It hasn't hit the backboards yet. The block. Goodness me.
I mean, Harris looked like he was jumping off a trampoline there, really skying above the top of the backboard.
I think it's just as important for referees to know personnel as well, because, you know, Jordan Harris, he's a guy that plays above the rim. We say the same with Carla Kelly. These are guys that go after shots on a regular basis.
Harris is going to get 2 shots there, and there's a little ooh all around the building, as if to say, well, I wonder if Harris might have got a little one back there.
Basketball gods work in mysterious ways.
We usually call that a makeup call.
It's a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul.
But he leaves the first free throw short. So quickly, latest scores. London 70, Cheshire 49. Sheffield 61, Manchester 60. And the one Drew's most interested in, Leicester 41, Plymouth 37. 2.5 to go in the first half down at the Morningside.
Nothing to worry about, Eagles fans. We know the Riders will take care of business.
Fletcher. His shot's off the mark, and Malcolm gets his hands on it. Johnson is fouled by Johnson. We've got 3 of them out there right now. Corey on Jordan.
And again, Jordan Johnson coming down the lane like a bowling ball, where he's either going to score or head to the line for 2, where he leads the league in being fouled on the most. The second best player. 71 more times being fouled than the second player. Can you guys know who that guy is?
Number 2 fouled in the league.
No.
Gino?
There you go. Well, this was really for Ann. I know you got the spreadsheet there,
I'm just guessing.
I see your spreadsheet open there.
I don't keep that stat.
Dan's the guy you never invite to Trivial Pursuit.
Oh,
He just ruins it for everyone else.
I want to add the stew on that a little bit, but I mean, that just goes to show how aggressive this guy is. It's been fouled 71 more times than Gino Crandell, just an aggressive player.
Well, that replay showed it too. He pushed the ball that fast. Corey Johnson, he turned his head, he was trying to run out of the way. So he didn't even mean to foul. You know, Jordan Johnson's that quick. Anyone in the way is trespassing.
And the 3 is good. And Newcastle really on top here, and there's just something on the... Somebody's gone early with the chock-a-dock, I think.
Oh, some early start. Is that the culprit? The lady in the green shirt?
No, she looks like she's in charge of everybody around there.
Eagles fans celebrating a little early.
Hey, leaders have to take responsibility down. Don't pass the buck.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be foul number 3 on Fletch. What does Coach Mccloud do here? I mean, he's up 23. He's going to make a sub.
He looks very sad. He's picked up that 3rd foul too. He's done a really good job because he picked up that 2nd one first quarter, was it?
Yep. And he's played aggressive like that all night. From the very first play of the game, he was showing an aggressive defense on Jordan Johnson, just setting the tone for the other guys.
He's probably heard me talking about all these assist records, and he's thinking, I can't get assists from the bench. The one I didn't give out earlier, he actually went past TJ Walker on the all-time assist record in the BBL to fourth for total number of assists in career. TJ got most of them for the Eagles, of course.
Wow.
Legend of these parts.
Yeah,
quite
absolutely.
Eagles heavy, that top of the list. Russ Saunders on it. Fab Flanoy, obviously number one for most assists in BBL history. Nigel Lloyd sneaking in there. No Eagles connection. As Harris goes up against the rebound. Here's Harris driving quick. Can't finish. Peel with the rebound. Williams strings the three.
And this is what we've been waiting on for Kyle Williams all season long. Really struggled this year to find his role amongst his team. As Fraser Malcolm attacks the glass for two.
A tough take there from the 6'7" wing. Malcolm's so good at shooting the basketball, but also finishing at the rim.
Person looking along the baseline, dumping it into Peel. He's got to go up here. Got to shoot. He can't pass it back to the halfway line. And it's a shot clock violation.
Well, that's ambitious ask there of his teammate Gordon. Shoot the ball with less than a second left from the halfway line. He believes in him, though.
Bunyan for three, first score of the game from his first shot of the game.
We haven't seen a lot of Johnny Bunyan, so I'm not sure if it's a health-related thing, but of course he's been a big part of this Rocks organization over the last 11 years and shoots the ball with, especially from beyond the perimeter, with deadly accuracy.
Person all the way to the rim. It comes off. 7 seconds left. Malcolm running down court. Malcolm back to Murray. Resets. One-footed three. Does not go. Well, the Newcastle Eagles know that they need 2 wins this weekend to have a chance of making the playoffs. They are 3/4 of the way through getting that first victory, and that is what matters to them. It is 82-63, the Eagles over the Rocks. We will have fourth quarter action after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle, where the Eagles are fighting for their playoff lives. They need to win, and they need Leicester to win to send it to Sunday. Newcastle are winning. They're at the half at the Morningside Arena. If it's not the first rotation that gets you, it's always the second from Leicester. They are 7 points up at halftime. Leicester 48-41. Rashad Hassan has 3 fouls for the Patriots. So things, as it stands, going Newcastle's way to force a playoff decider on Sunday. But they've just got a bit of a blow there with Darius Defoe getting called for his 3rd personal foul right at the start of the 4th quarter.
Well, this is what they don't want here now, is for Glasgow to get a little run here, to get their confidence going, and it just adds to the tightness now of the Eagles finishing this basketball game.
Well, Kieran was talking about the game that really turns things around for the Rocks on the road at the Copper Box in London, down big. Hillsman, I think it was, had got DQ'd from the game, and you know, they were in a bit of a spiral at the time, and they turned around a massive deficit in the 4th quarter to win that game. So they are a team that's shown they can come from behind. Will they have the same motivation? That will be the question. Here's Defoe from the elbow, but if you let them get out in the open court, Fletcher and Gordon are not long going to be on the bench. They're getting ready to check in for the Eagles. Vance Johnson never quite had the ball under control there.
No, he didn't. You're right. He kind of trying to make a move before he even had full possession of the basketball, and looked doomed to fail from the start.
Person driving hard, can't score. Here's Johnson, coast to coast to the finger roll, but it bobbles out.
Tough finish, isn't it? You don't see you miss too many of those.
In the corner, Williams. Cross court, Person for 3. Short, rebound Malcolm. Williams rips it away from Johnson.
And that's a great defensive stand there by the Newcastle Eagles. Not getting 1, but 2 bodies in front of Johnson, which ultimately causes the turnover.
Defoe to the fall away, beautiful.
So nice. Nice combination there of power and finesse. Uses the power to get a little bit better positioning and fade away with the finesse.
A solid game here from Defoe, 7 for 9, 14 points. Really leading from the front.
Johnson. Deflected out of bounds. Newcastle ball. 3.2 seconds on the shot clock. Fletcher and Gordon return.
And again, the thing that I'm most impressed with the Eagles is they're getting hands on balls. They're getting bodies in front of the ball. We've been here several times this year, and usually when that first man is beat is normally a layup. So this is very encouraging, and this is a team that you don't want to see in the playoffs if they are playing at their full potential.
Murray heaves up on the shot clock buzzer. Defoe throws it long to Gordon, and he can't quite keep it in play. Well, that's the interesting thing, is we talk about how many of these guys have played in big games, played in finals, played in playoff final last year. If they did manage to squeeze into the playoffs, you know, who knows?
Agreed. I think with that level of personnel, Justin Gordon, Ramon Fletcher, Darius Defoe, these are guys that have been there and done it, and that would give them that extra, I don't know, that extra asset in their locker when facing, teams. Because all it takes is for you to have a bad half of a game. It puts you in a little deficit, which then sets the worry in for the remainder of that leg series. So you're right. I mean, this is not a bad eighth seed.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. We all know that the Leicester Riders are the favorites, and it's the playoff title for theirs to lose. But if there's any team they wouldn't want to see in the first round, it's the Newcastle Eagles.
And that could easily happen, because if Newcastle get in, 8th is logically where they will be. London are going to win down at the Copper Box. They have 4.5 minutes to go in that game. They are 83-56 up against the Cheshire Phoenix. The other game, very tight. Sheffield can lock up second with victory, but they're losing by 1 against Manchester, having been in a big hole early on. They still are in the box seat for second, Sheffield. They have one more game to play against Surrey, which would guarantee them second place if they can beat the Scorchers, who of course have finished last and won just a couple of games all season. It's Hillsman in the corner for a long 2. Cross court to Person for 3, misses everything. Bunyan's going to pull up for the transition 3, and Gordon gets the rebound. Defoe against Jack Domney. 2 big men going mano a mano, and it's the Rocks player who's called for the foul.
It's a really strange quarter. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the only reason being that neither team are making shots. It's 2-2 so far in this quarter, and we've seen some big numbers. Newcastle Eagles scored 30 in the first, 24, then 28, and they are stuck on 2. And, Glasgow Rocks too, no stranger to averaging over 90 points per game.
And maybe both of these teams are playing defense now. Give them some credit.
I don't know.
I think the Eagles would take a 2-2 quarter.
I agree. Yeah. It's just the game has took a very odd turn.
I wouldn't know, because then people will go, when was the last time 2 teams scored 2 points in a quarter? Answer, probably never. Here's Fletcher. Back to Gordon, and there we go. We got a second basket for the Eagles.
And that's a beautiful play, starting by the man, Ramon Fletcher, splitting that double team, getting it to his money man, Justin Gordon, for 2.
Assist number 7 for
7.
Fletch.
1 more guarantees him 10 per game. That's 1 more either today or on Sunday. I think it's going to happen. Out of bounds, and will be a Rocks ball. Just a little perspiration on the floor needs sorting out.
And the question for the Glasgow Rocks is, in this last 5 minutes and 41 seconds, what are you looking to accomplish here? Do you think that this performance will transition into the playoffs?
No. I mean, the reality is the Rocks have the second worst away record in the BBL this year. Only Surrey have a worse away record. They have one of the best home records. It was second best until Leicester beat them there the other day. They just need to win the home leg by more points than they lose the away leg.
Yes, but I would counter argue that in the sense of this is a very different performance than what we saw here in February. That Rocks performance, if you remember, in this very same fixture was a lot better than this performance from the Rocks. So the performance isn't great going into the playoffs, but you don't want to have so much of a lapse where you're down by 20 and you're having to win at home by 20.
Well, we haven't seen what the schedule is, but in all likelihood, the first leg is going to be in Glasgow, because they're going to finish in the bottom half of the playoff picture, and the team that finishes in the top 4 gets the choice of what date they want for the second leg, and they almost always take the home game in the second leg. So the first one is at home for the Rocks. So therefore, again, it's the same as Kieran talked about their semi-finals in the trophy and the cup. What happened? They won both home games, but they didn't win by enough.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So the performances still have to be there on the road. You know, you have to not lose by a certain amount to be able to buffer that against your home performance.
Well, I would agree with that. The pushback would be the game against Manchester in the Cup semi-final. With 3 minutes to go, they had that semi-final won, and they just messed it up in the last three. Credit to Manchester. I think it was Jordan Whelan came up with a couple of big steals, if I remember right, and pulled them back in. The game at Cheshire, they just got mowed over by a fired-up Cheshire team. But, you know, 1 or 2 shots here or there, they were in the cup final instead of Manchester, weren't they?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is, if the Glasgow Rocks are going to advance past the first round, they got to figure out a way to get it done on the road. You can't depend on point differences and all of that. You got to win the game.
And again, going back to the trophy semi-final, I thought that was actually won by Austin at the end of the first leg, because Glasgow were up, I can't remember what it was, 18, 19 points, and he went mad at the end, did what Austin did, what we saw him do in the trophy final to win the MVP, and actually what could have been a 20-point lead was only 11 or 12, whatever it was, and that gave them all the momentum going into the second leg. If I was Glasgow, I'd rather play the home leg first. That would be my take. The way they shoot the ball in that building. Here's Fletcher at the top of the key.
They're that good at home and that bad away. They just don't need to be too much of an extreme. They've got to figure out a way to limit or mitigate the poor performance away from home.
And on the other side, the Newcastle Eagles, they just got to find a way to make it in.
They just got to be there. That's the target, and it's going to plan so far. They're still at half-time down in Leicester. It is a 7-point Riders lead as long as Leicester win that game. And Newcastle survive the last 4 minutes here with a 15-point lead. It will go down to the final game of the season. Winner takes all. Plymouth versus Newcastle. Here's Hillsman all the way to the basket. For 2, it's down to 13.
That is unbelievably impressive. Jordan Johnson's running at full speed and he's waving his players through. He's orchestrating the offense. Unbelievable.
And if the Eagles don't score here, I'm going to look to get a timeout from Coach Mccloud just to settle the troops.
There's Defoe to the turnaround. They don't get a score. Johnson with the rebound. It's 86-73 in favor of the Newcastle Eagles. 3.5 minutes to go. Johnson all the way through. Will that count? No, it won't. Foul is on the floor.
That was really, really close. That could have went either way. We've seen continuations.
4th foul on Fletcher. Can't take him out, can you? Oh, they are. No, they're not. He's walking over to Bunyan, sorry. I thought he was walking to the bench. 3:24 to go. We've got to ride Ramon Fletcher here in a 13-point game. Foul is on Person. $83-76, 3:20 to go. Sorry, 86-73. I said it the wrong way around there.
I just double checked so you had me.
Yeah. Johnson for 3, big shot, doesn't go. Jack Domney with the rebound. Johnson. Shot clock down to 5. Harris inside the final 3 minutes. Gets the shot away and gets it to go. That will count. And he's got a chance to make it a 10-point game from the free throw line.
Uh-oh, here comes the Rocks. One last push here to make everyone in this Virtue Motors arena that little bit more nervous.
That is foul number 4 on Darius Defoe. So Defoe and Fletcher on 4.
And we asked the question, what does the Rocks look to gain out of this last 5 minutes? And I think it's very clear
they can still win. It is 86-76. It's a 10-point Newcastle game with 3 to play. Here's Fletcher to Defoe. Defoe driving all the way to the basket. And some relief for the Eagles fans.
That trusted pick and roll there, Ramon Fletcher, Darius Defoe.
Harris goes back quick.
Harris looking in attack mode.
2:25 to go in the ball game. 88-78. Stolen away by Johnson. 2:15 to go. Technical foul is called. I think it's on Corey Johnson, is it? Corey Johnson, it is. Called for a technical foul. Well, Gareth Murray wasn't happy because his team were on the break and he thought they might get 2 in transition, but they got a chance for a free point here and to make it a 9-point game.
Right, that technical could be a good thing if he misses a free throw. It at least stops the fast break.
And he does miss the free throw. So the Eagles lead by 10. The Patriots trail by 10 in the third quarter. Both those results would set up a decider on Sunday. They're both still in the balance. 2:14 to go here. Johnson. In the corner. Harris for 3 is short. Bats it up in the air. And Fletcher comes away with it. Fletcher with the pass to Gordon with the hammer. Ramon Fletcher is going to have more than 10 assists per game this season. And that is as big as one as he's had all year.
And what an exclamation mark finish from Justin Gordon. To say thank you very much, Ramon Fletcher, for all the passes you've given me this season.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles with a bit of breathing space yet again. 90-78, 1:52 to go in this game.
Wow, there was that point in the game too where you saw a slight turn here and you thought like a never push here for the Glasgow Rocks. But this Newcastle Eagles have shown enough resilience here to bat that away.
Well, Fletcher now, 2 more assists for Fletcher would move him first all-time on the assists per game average for a career. Obviously, that can change from game to game. 3 more assists will guarantee him this season's the all-time single-season assist record with a game to go, so he could push some daylight away on that record. 90-78, 1:52 left in the ball game. He knows how important these last couple of minutes are for his team.
It's a great technical by Corey Johnson.
Yeah,
imagine if the fast breaks converted, they get a 2, and again there's more tightness added to the situation. But instead he misses the free throw. They don't convert on in the half-court set.
Harris steps underneath. 2 great athletes challenge each other there. Fletcher with the steal. Fletcher off and running. Fletcher to Peel, and he lays it in.
And assist number 10 for Ramon Fletcher. Double-double, 11 points, 10 assists.
Defoe is just fouled out. He wasn't looking as Glasgow came quickly. Just reacted a little late. That's foul number 5 on Darius Defoe with 1:25 left in the game.
What a game that leaders had. 16 points personal, 8 for 11, 72% from the field, and just leading by example.
So the rest of us, loud and proud, make some noise!
First one is good for Hillsman.
Around the arena, loud and proud, let's make some noise!
Makes them both. (92 to 80). The Eagles a minute and 20 away from doing what they have to do here, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Oh, that's going to be turned over, is it? No, Fletcher's able to keep it alive. Fletcher to Sayers. 8 on the shot clock, he backs out. Johnson steals it, but he can't keep it in play. There's no reset of the shot clock, 4.4 for Newcastle.
That's good energy from the Rocks, isn't it? They don't play too much high-tempo defensive possessions, but that was certainly one of them. A couple potential turnovers there for the Eagles.
4 remains on the shot clock for your Eagles. 105 game clock.
Nice pass. The peel. It's back to Sayers. He misses. Rocks come down with the ball. Minute to play. Bunyan is out up front. Hillsman. Back out to Johnson. Johnson, mid-range. Rims out, and surely that is the stop for the Newcastle Eagles. That will secure them the win.
Wow, good intensity there from both teams. Rocks didn't really get anything going to the rim. No easy looks because it was smothered by the Newcastle Eagles defense.
Forward to Person, who's fouled, and the fans not liking it. They went for a quick fire. I think he just crashed into him. Both players seem okay with it. But not the second. Johnson spinning into the rim. Bunyan with the offensive rebound. Hillsman for 3. He misses. Another offensive rebound. Still misses. That will go out of bounds. The shot clock is off. And the Newcastle Eagles have probably pushed it to Sunday. They've got to hope that Leicester hang on. Leicester's lead is down to only 6. But they've done as much as they can do.
That's all you can do, Dan, is control the controllables. And this Eagle team has certainly put themselves in a very, very good position of making this BBL playoffs.
Well, the champions are still alive. Will it be for another half an hour or for another couple of days? We're going to have to wait and find out. But the Newcastle Eagles have won the game they had to win. 93 points to 80. The Geordies on their feet, hoping that this is not the last time their team plays in this building this season.
Well, for all the trials and tribulations this fan base has experienced this season, it has to feel good. Their club came into this game a must-win. An absolute must-win to make the push for this playoffs, and their team has delivered. It must be a delighted arena right now.
Well, it doesn't happen very often, but for the next half an hour, all of these Geordies will become Leicester fans. Just hoping.
That's an odd dynamic, even when you say it.
No, just hoping that the Riders can see it over the line. As I say, there's still 4 minutes to go in the third quarter down at the Morningside Arena. Leicester lead 58 to 53. But the Newcastle Eagles, led by Justin Gordon with 21 points, but they had plenty of contributions up and down the lineup for them, and that has been what they needed, a full team performance to get to the victory.
That's exactly what they got, Dan. You know, you've got 6 players there in double-digit figures, which says to me they had players that were ready to play before tip-off even happened. Focused players who shot the ball well and did what they needed to do to make their team win.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles have won. It's 93-80. Let's go back over to now.
Yes, exactly what they needed, Kieran Achara. And it wasn't just the fact they've got the victory, it was the manner of the victory.
Yeah, there was so many players that stepped up tonight. You know, we were talking about the plan A being Fletcher, but it wasn't just the Fletcher show. So many big players made big plays down the stretch tonight and kept their hopes alive.
They set their stall early on, didn't they? 30 points in that first quarter, kept the pace up offensively in the second quarter, racking up 54 in the half, and crucially, turning the screw on Glasgow defensively, holding the Rocks to just 12 points in that second quarter.
That second quarter was crucial. You know, that was the knockout blow from a Glasgow Rocks perspective. We talked about it. If they were willing to make that blow, Glasgow might have dropped. But, you know, they nearly gave it up a little bit in that fourth quarter there. But, yeah, they did enough at the defensive end to win this game tonight.
So many big performances from the Newcastle Eagles across the board contributing, and a number of key protagonists involved in this 93-point tally, this big win for Newcastle. At the top of the show, we mentioned Brandon Peel, and we said he could have a big night and win the hearts of this Eagles faithful. That's exactly what he did, the highest efficiency rating on the court. And he's tonight's MVP, and he's courtside with Drew.
Brandon, a much important win, which keeps your playoff hopes alive. 6 guys in double figures. Talk about that all-around effort from the team tonight.
Well, knowing that this is close to the end of the season, we know how important these last few games are. So we've been locked in really in practice about trying to move the ball more, defensive physicality. And Glasgow's a very good team, and we know that it could have gone to the wire with them, but we locked in and think we did what we had to do early, and I think that's what gave us the good result.
And individually, you were instrumental in your play tonight. And in the last 5 games, you seem to be hitting your stride. What's been the biggest change in yourself?
I think confidence, and just working harder. I mean, it's good to have the belief from the coaches. They always think that we can win. They're never going to give up on us, and that's just translating. So better late than never.
And finally, through all the trials of the season, these fans have showed up tonight. Talk about their support.
I'd say the greatest fans in the league. Despite a season full of ups and downs, they still come out to support us, and we're going to make them proud. Get that last win, hopefully get that playoff spot.
Well, if results go your way, you got a job to take care of on Sunday. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
A lot of love for the Newcastle Eagle fans from Brandon Peel, and I can tell you what, Kieran, the feeling will be absolutely mutual. Brilliant performance from him, 17 points, shooting 88% from the floor, 8 rebounds, 2 including 6 defensive.
Yeah, he was so efficient from a scoring perspective. You know, Drew talked about being a floater, kind of get these. He found a way to get these spots tonight. He made that mid-range jump look quite easy, cleaned up, you know, offensively, ran the floor really, really well. Great performance by Brandon Peel tonight.
How important is it for a player like Brandon Peel to step up in situations like this? Because, yes, we highlighted him at the top. We talked about Fletch, we talked about Defoe, we talked about Justin Gordon, all of whom had brilliant performances, by the way. But for a player like Peel to step up too, suddenly they're starting to believe, aren't they?
And that's it. You know, it's coming up to playoff time, and we know what the Eagles of the past have always been like in playoff time. So hopefully, from an Eagles perspective, they can find a way to get a win. And who knows what can happen if they get to playoff with people playing with confidence.
Of course, they've got to take care of business against Plymouth on Sunday, and Leicester have to take care of business tonight. The Riders leading that game at the moment. So a recap that if Leicester maintain that lead and go on to win the game tonight, then it will go down to Sunday's game, Newcastle versus Plymouth. Winner takes all. If the Eagles can get it done and get into the playoffs, given that everybody's written them off, there's suddenly a huge amount of momentum rolling there, isn't there?
And this is what I'm saying about the league this season. It's been so volatile. You literally cannot, other than a Leicester Riders or a Surrey Scorchers, it's been so inconsistent, you know. So Eagles getting there, they know what winning's like. They want to be in the playoffs, to be in the mix, and like I said, who knows what's going to happen.
All right, let's hear from their winning coach, Ian Mccloud. He's courtside now with Drew.
Coach, this looks like the team we've been waiting on all season. Talk about that performance.
I mean, the first thing, 6 guys in double figures, spreading that. We haven't had that this year. We've had to, with one guy to get 25 or something like that, we've had to get points on the board. But let's flip it entirely. The last time we played Glasgow was 97-95. We win it on the buzzer just about. Today, 12-point second quarter, we held them to. The biggest thing today was the 3-point line and defending that. They got hot early, but I feel like we did a really good job after that first quarter to take that away from them.
And you talked about the 6 guys in double figures. We know what Defoe and Fletcher bring. Talk about the others who contributed tonight.
No, I'm not going to buy into that. We know what Darius is going to bring. So does everyone who scouts him. And they know what Fletcher's going to bring. Therefore, their scout report revolves entirely around them. For them to do that, what they did tonight, is incredible. Then you put someone like Brandon Beal playing with confidence. You know what Corey can do with the ball, same with Lewis. So, yeah, it is. But, those veteran guys, they didn't step back and let other guys do it. They're the main part of people's scout report, and they still did it.
And your playoff hopes are still alive. We see the Leicester game on the big screen behind you. But if this is your final game as head coach of the Newcastle Eagles, what message would you like to leave with these fans?
I said something in July that all Northeast, in the July before I took over, that all Northeast sports fans want is a bit of hope and a bit of passion. We've showed it tonight. Did we show it? We didn't show what we wanted to all year, but we're going to try and end with showing that. We can't do anything about that Leicester-Plymouth game. All we can do is whatever happens in that game is go down to Plymouth and try and win on Sunday. We've brought a bit of silverware in that time, but hopefully that's not finished. And hey, who knows?
Coach, we hope to see you in the playoffs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That Leicester-Plymouth game, incidentally, just a 2-point lead for the Riders now. We're going to keep a close eye on it. It's being shown on the big screens here in the arena. Plenty of Newcastle fans are sticking around and watching that one very, very carefully, I can tell you. We'll keep you up to date on the score as that one plays out. Let's highlight some of the other big performances from the Newcastle Eagles this evening, starting with one of those great leaders that they have in the locker room, Darius Defoe, 16 points, 72% from the floor, and really from the get-go, he led by example.
I loved his game tonight. I think he did a really good job, like I said, getting to his spots. He was composed, couple of dribbles, get his shot in rhythm. He knew exactly what he was wanting to do tonight. He wanted to score baskets and lead this team, and he found a way to do that.
It was brilliant stuff from Defoe, and as we've highlighted a few times, and as Drew mentioned in the interview with Brandon Peele, a number of big players stepping up tonight for the Eagles just when they needed them, including Justin Gordon. What a night he had, both offensively and defensively. We talked about his offense at the half. He went on to rack up 21 points, but he picked up 7 boards as well, 6 of those rebounds defensive.
Yeah, I always talk about him being an animal. He finds a way, he's so athletic. But his shot, I'm really impressed with his shot, because for someone so athletic to have the kind of touch that he does around the basket as well, it's really, really good to see. But, again, I'm going to go back to the point. Big players make big plays. He's been stepping up since the get-go. Since he's arrived here, he's been finding a way to add the offensive end.
And he loves a spectacular play as well, as we saw there, really exciting the crowd. That's obviously important on a night like this, because after that first quarter, explosive start that it was from the Eagles, it was nervy and it was tense in here, and it's big plays that has calmed the nerves and helped them really kick on and build that significant lead at the half. So difficult to call MVP. Brandon Peele, a worthy winner for a brilliant performance, but it could have been any one of the 3 players we've seen in our highlights, or indeed Ramon Fletcher, because Fletch had a double-double. He had 5 assists within the first couple of minutes of the game. Then he got in foul trouble. Then he sat out for a bit, still ended up with 10 of them.
He's just so composed. He knows where his players are meant to be. He got into that foul trouble, but I'm so proud of the team to then step up in his absence. But, Fletcher is that guy. He is that player. He knows how to make plays. He was up for it tonight. Another great performance, and more big games still to come.
6 players in double digits for the Eagles, including Fletch, Brandon Peele, Justin Gordon, and Wes Person, the others. So a brilliant all-round offensive performance from Newcastle, and they'll be pleased with their defense and how they've kept this Glasgow Rocks offense in relative check, given the form that Glasgow has been in offensively recently. Let's get the perspective now from the Rocks head coach, Gareth Murray. He's courtside with Drew.
Gareth, tough loss to the Eagles, which seemed like the most desperate team. What was your team's approach tonight?
It was supposed to be get stops, but we waited 35 minutes till we started playing defense, and it was too late by then. Newcastle, they scored the ball. They scored the ball, and they got comfortable on their home court, and it was just a back and forth game. They got out to 20 points, and our heads went down a little bit. But then we started to play some defense. We got back in the game, but it was Eagles wanted more. Eagles wanted more.
And you were much more aggressive from the start of this game. How much will you prioritize yourself as a player as we move to the playoffs?
I'm going to be doing the same role I've just been doing right now. I'm playing more minutes than I have this last 10, 12 games or so I'll be doing the same role. Tonight, I was open, I shot the ball, I got hot a little bit, so I just kept on shooting. But I know this team, if I'm scoring, they're not scoring, so their defense is a little bit shaky. So slow down a little bit and let the guys get some shots and try to pick up the defense.
And the season is officially over, and you can now focus on the playoffs. What will the next 7 days look like for you guys as you gear up for the playoffs?
We'll wait to see who we get. This game's still like this weekend, so we'll see who we get, and then we'll just start scouting for that, and then we'll work on that, try to play some defense.
Well, good luck to you guys in the playoffs, and we will see you down the road. Thanks for your time, Garrett.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gracious in defeat. Happy, of course, that they're in the playoffs. It was always a difficult game tonight for them, given the situation.
A difficult game, but at the same time, I was disappointed. I expected more. I think from a Glasgow Rocks perspective this season, they were looking to finish 4th or 5th. So making the playoffs has been a miraculous recovery from where they were at. But I expect more. They've been showing such great form. And if they want to make a run in the playoffs, they're going to have to play defence more consistently. And I know they have it in them. I've seen it the last 6 or 7 games that they can play a little bit of defence. They just need to be able to switch that on and keep the offence flowing.
Jordan Johnson had a double-double for them this evening. Much like Fletch, he was racking up assists very early on as well. He went on to get 11 of them, 14 points as well. What do you make of his all-round performance tonight, Kieran?
So I think Eagles did a great job of actually clogging the paint a little bit and not allowing them to get that easy drive. So it was a little bit tougher offensively. But even when that was happening, he still finds players all the time. He's still finding situations to get these players involved, gets his teammates involved, and still a threat. So even when he's not scoring, he is creating baskets, and that's a real positive for the Glasgow Rocks.
Why are the Rocks so Jekyll and Hyde in terms of their home form and their away form?
I've been there, and I know how hard it is to travel, and Rocks have relied a lot on their shooting ability this season as well. So shooting in different rims that maybe don't have that same comfort level, but the travel can be really grueling. They have no excuses tonight. This was an easier travel, one of the easier travels for the Glasgow Rocks. But that inconsistency, I think the home comforts really plays to their hand.
All right, let's take a look at our play of the day, and it goes to JC Hillsman. Tough call, this one, as player of the day?
There was a lot of big plays down the stretch. I love that Gordon play, but this one, he just attacked the rim with authority, rising above. I'm not even going to say I'm going to keep it, but that was a big time finish. Big time finish.
Is that the kind of silver medal, Kieran O'Shara? Big time.
I'm big time now. I can hold back
really?
on the D word.
That jumper's going to your head, I think. Maybe it'll be in next week's BBL Plays of the Week, and then you can give it the respect that it deserves. Well, hey, one play of the day. So that is pretty good. Right, let's get the perspective from the court from the two individuals we might have. I was about to say 2 players, but of course one of them, Chris Dodds, the referee. Let's hear how the sounds of the game played out.
Microphone twins. Lay up! Yeah! Hell yeah! Hey, every time! This game's got pace, if anything. I got it, Johnny. 2 shots, elbow! Your elbow's across, 2 shots.
You gonna stop back cutting or what?
No. Didn't touch his feet. No, it didn't touch.
$100.
$100?
$100, hit his foot.
Pound sterling. It was a behind the back pass that went flat. On his way down. It's a matter of opinion.
Let's check in on the results from around the BBL this evening. The London Lions, boy, did they need that. 99-62 comprehensive win over the Cheshire Phoenix. The Sharks are going to be going in to the playoffs as a high seed. They had a comeback win after a sluggish start against the Manchester Giants. 91-86 the final there. And the latest between the Riders and the Plymouth City Patriots, 71. I'm looking at this big screen in the building. It's actually 65 now. So the Patriots are not lying down. This is what it means for the table. We know the Riders are champs. We know that the Sharks and the Lions and the Giants and the Flyers playoff bound. Every team is, of course, except the bottom three. We know Surrey are out of it, so it's all down, as we'll be talking about all night long, to the Eagles or the Patriots. And if Leicester hold out, it's going to Sunday's game and a winner-takes-all battle for that 8th seed. So, based on what you've seen tonight, how confident, assuming it is a play-in game, Kieran, should the Eagles be?
Wow, you know, I'm floating on this. The big wins they've had thus far is against the Surrey Scorchers and the Glasgow Rocks. No defence at all. You know, so... But at the same time, Ramon Fletcher, Darius Defoe, I know they're players who can finish. So it's going to be. I can't even call it. I can't even call it. Drew Lasker said that they're not going to make the playoffs, but I don't know about that. I believe that they still have an opportunity.
Had to sneak that in when the man isn't here to defend himself, Kieran. Well, he will be with us next weekend as the playoff action gets underway. So we move away from our regular Friday night slot as the playoffs start rolling to Sunday, the playoff quarterfinals, second leg, depending on how the games roll this weekend. We will pick the game that we think is going to be the most enticing, the most captivating. I wonder if that is going to be a game that involves these Newcastle Eagles. 3:30 on air next week. Make sure you join us for that. What an atmosphere it's been here in Newcastle. What a job it has been from the Newcastle Eagles. They're almost there. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye for now.